My name's Lyndsey. I'm here today with Jamie and we're here to talk about cyberbullying. Jamie, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm not too bad. Jamie, have you heard of cyberbullying before?
Yes.
Do you know what it is?
Yes.
And how would you describe it?
I would say as a form of abuse against somebody online.
Okay. Have you ever heard any experiences of cyberbullying?
Yes, in terms of in my personal life and people I know, or just general publicised ones?
Either.
Well, I know like the really well-known ones like Amanda Todd,
Yeah.
and then I do know of like a few people who have been cyberbullied but they weren't really affected by it.
So is this your personal life then?
Yeah, I do have friends that have had like things posted to myself like everyone gets eventually, but none.
So what kind of experiences have they had? Sort of explain, because you said they weren't really affected by it. And I want to kind of try and know, why is cyberbullying a problem? You know, how are they managing to get information off people or being able to bully them online without somebody noticing what's going on? So, can you tell me your friend's experience?
Well, I think one example that probably happens to a lot of people is if you send something to the wrong person by mistake. One of my friends, she sent a very lengthy email about someone and accidentally sent it to the person it was about, who then forwarded it on to a lot of other contacts. And though for about a day or so she was very embarrassed about it, it was in the summer, so by the time school rolled around it had sort of been forgotten about, so she sort of got away with it in that sense.
But do you think your friend was okay to move on from it? Do you think, was she feeling vulnerable at the time, or was she embarrassed? You know, we come from a very small area, so when people hear about these things, quite a few people generally know about them.
She was at the time she was very embarrassed about it, being 14 years old, thinking it was the end of the world. But even then she was someone with a very thick skin and could laugh about things and make jokes about herself.
So she was able to move on from it quite easily.
Yeah, she was able to make light of it.
And how? Well, there was a recent case, so we've heard a whole pile of different cases in the media of it leading to people wanting to actually, teenagers and children and whatnot, actually wanting to take their own lives. Why do you think it gets to that stage?
I think it's probably they're lonely to begin with, and then they find someone online who doesn't know them, doesn't know what people say about them, how they're perceived, and they feel like they can just be themselves, and then when they're let down again by someone who just turns out to be like everyone else they know, it gets a bit too much for them.
So they're vulnerable and they're not in the best of places, so whoever they're meeting online is basically taking advantage of that.
Yeah.
What I want to know is, how are they getting information off people? I know they're feeling vulnerable, but why are people now thinking that it's okay to give pictures or personal information to somebody that they have never met before? I wouldn't go out into the street and give a stranger a picture of myself. You know, I need to know who the person is. You know, and even then, I just don't go out handing out pictures. But yet, when it comes to online and social media sites, we seem to be less reluctant about who we're giving this stuff to. So why are children or teenagers or the younger generation thinking it's safe to give this information out?
Well, I honestly don't really even have an answer because I don't know why people say that. I get this sense.
Do you give your information out and certain stuff out online?
I don't give my bank details to someone I've just met on Fling or something, but I have made some very good friends like online that I've spoke to for years now, and I know that they are real human beings from speaking to them on Skype and on the phone, and I know that they are definitely human people.
Yes.
But as certainly when like on the first meeting, tell them my address.
Yes.
Or something
like that. Do you think, is it a problem? Is it something that we're not looking at? You know, I have 2 children myself, so for me as a worry, what do we have to do to make them safer online? Let's look at a couple of different social media sites. So Facebook. I think the age restriction for Facebook is 13.
I think it's still way too low.
But they don't check. Do they? You know, there's
but even on
there,
anything
so
you could always lie.
So any of the sites you can lie about your date of birth and there's nothing there to check it anyway, so why have a age restriction on it? And what types of bullying do you think would happen on Facebook?
I think on Facebook, probably a lot of it is, from what I've seen, is a lot of people post things with statuses about people. A lot of it can be indirectly, is usually it. You will see something and wonder who that's about, and a part of you wants to know who's it about. Because I know from experience when I was in school, if anyone ever put up a status which was slightly negative and it had about 70 comments on it, you would read every single comment in a hope of knowing who it was about, because it was in a way entertaining, which really shouldn't say, but it's like anything.
I think we have to be honest about it to figure out how we're going to solve the problem of it, because I think a lot of people don't go in with the intent of cyberbullying. We have the freedom to express our opinions, and I think people like the fact that they're able to do that on such a big forum and everybody's able to see it.
I think the worst version of that is, I rarely see them now, but I do remember there used to be these statuses where you put up like my status and I'll rate your looks, personality, whatever, and most people, maybe your friends, would all like it, and obviously you'd be very kind to them, and then complete strangers or people you barely know or maybe just don't particularly like would like the status as well. And though most people might have just ignored it and thought, I'm not going to do it for you, some people would then be very nasty about it and be like, well, you wanted an opinion, which is sort of in a way, I would probably almost say, you ask for an opinion,
you're going to
get it. So although it's not, they don't deserve to be bullied for it, but if it's something like, if you want an honest opinion, and then if you can't handle an honest opinion, don't go looking for it.
Do you think the people that are looking the opinion or asking these questions or liking these statuses to get the feedback back are obviously looking for something to sort of boost them up, but help the confidence, they're going to rate me and they're going to rate something nice and this is going to make me feel a lot better. So again, that's them showing a bit of vulnerability. Can't get that word out there.
Yes, I do think it is loneliness, or maybe they're looking for approval, probably with very low self-esteem already. But then I think with any kind of social media, you really shouldn't be on it unless you have some form of thick skin, because you can still be the nicest, most popular person around and there will still be that one person who posts something negative, and if you have a really fragile ego, you really shouldn't be on it. That doesn't justify it at all.
No.
But sort of,
I think it's like you say, we just have to go into this with our eyes open.
You can't be naive about it, thinking, I'm going to sign up for this, I'm going to make all these new friends, because that is rarely the case.
So, and you were saying, you've admitted yourself there's times you would be honest with people. But Jamie, you would be honest with people in a face-to-face situation.
Oh yes, I would never post anything online, but I wouldn't say to their face, and I've never posted anything to a complete stranger online.
And do you think, is this an ongoing problem? People might think, I have the right to my opinion, I'm going to express it. Do we need to be expressing it all the time at the risk of offending others? I personally wouldn't do it to somebody's face. If I thought I was going to offend somebody and really hurt their feelings, I couldn't do it. Not as blunt as that. So because I don't do it in a face-to-face situation, the last thing I'm going to do is post it on Facebook, where anybody could be offended. So do you think other people should be sort of thinking along them rules as well? It's like you say, if you're going to sign up to it, do you need to be thick-skinned? Do you need to sort of make that decision? Are you going to take the criticism that comes, or are you going to be the one that gives the criticism?
Well, they do say if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all. I do think some people do go out of the way just to be offensive. They try to give off this sort of demeanour that they are this really sarcastic, nasty person, when really they're just trying a bit too hard. And on things online, you can be anyone you like. You can make a completely fake profile and write whatever, but when it's people you actually know in your day-to-day life, that you wouldn't say it to that person if they passed you on the street, you really shouldn't say it online.
And what about gender differences? So if we look at sort of Facebook and Twitter, do you think there is a difference made online?
I think in the way that people are bullied, especially young people. I know that they can all be bullied the exact same way. It's like boys can be bullied for the way they look and girls can be bullied for their personality, but generally it's girls get bullied for their appearance and boys are bullied for who they are.
Whether they're coming across feminine or whether they can do this or do that or and do you think if we, I suppose that's stereotyping, so with the gender differences, but do you think if we sort of look at it from that approach, would we be able to prevent it a wee bit more?
I think sort of in now gender differences are sort of fading a bit. That people don't really care if a girl plays football or if a boy's into fashion. But I think girls are usually objectified a lot more, and when they post these photos of before a night out and they're always in a skin tight dress, you know, posing every which way, getting so many likes on a photo or whatever, and then they'll probably send a photo to their boyfriend, or an ex-boyfriend will have a photo of them. Like, I do know recently a girl, I know who she is, she's not a friend. She had sent photos to somebody and then they had posted them on Facebook, and she was only 17.
Well, that's very young.
And then 2 months later she did the same thing again and the same thing happened. And I don't get, the first time you should have thought I shouldn't be sending pictures to this person, but after something like that happened to you, you would never want to send photos again.